Welcome to this explainer. Today we're jumping straight into a fascinating multidisciplinary investigation from our sources. We're examining the very roots of ancient Elam and the Sinhala language. By weaving together epigraphy, linguistics, and modern genetics, we are going to decode a truly remarkable historical narrative. Let's get started.
We start with a paradigm-shifting statement straight from our scholarly text. It explicitly states, Sinhala is basically a Dravidian language. It is not only this, its evolution also appears to be based on the Tamil language. This assertion absolutely anchors our investigation today. We are looking past traditional narratives to see exactly how researchers analyze the foundational matrix of the language itself.
To explore this case, we have a clear path ahead. We'll start with linguistic foundations, move into Brahmi inscriptions, and trace the evolution of names. Then we'll map out place names and commercial power, before wrapping up with a multidisciplinary synthesis. We're stacking these disciplines to see exactly how researchers build their framework.
Part 1. Linguistic Foundations, the Syntax of Ancestral Sinhala. Our sources point to a language known as Elu. This is the ancestral form of the Sinhala language. Crucially, the scholarly consensus cited here identifies Elu as emerging directly as a branch of Kodan Tamil, which is a distinct Dravidian language. According to the authors, this establishes a direct, irrefutable genealogical connection to the Tamil linguistic family tree right at the very inception of Sinhala.
While we compare the linguistic structures, the evidence is striking. While traditional arguments often try to link Sinhala to North Indian Aryan languages, our source categorically states this simply cannot be provably linked to any specific Aryan language. Instead, they argue that Sinhala vocabulary, sentence structure, and grammar perfectly mirror Dravidian structural frameworks. For these researchers, the entire architectural foundation of Sinhala rests firmly on a Dravidian matrix.
Moving on to Part 2, Brahmi inscriptions, clan identity, and megalithic continuity.
These historical inscriptions offer a fascinating duality. The research points out that while inscriptions in ancient Elam largely appear in Prakrit, which was essentially the religious language of Buddhism at the time, the specific clan names and cultural symbols embedded within them reveal a distinctly Tamil Dravidian identity. So while the medium was Prakrit, the underlying identity carved into these stones was undeniably Tamil. The sources systematically match these Brahmi clan names directly alongside their Sangam-era Tamil literary parallels. For example, the Brahmi title Parmaka corresponds perfectly to the Tamil Parmagan, meaning chieftains. Vel matches Velir, representing minor kings. And I or Abi aligns exactly with the Tamil female leader title Avi or Ammai. It is a striking ancestral link recorded directly into the epigraphic record. Continuing with this epigraphic evidence, the text outlines social and commercial structures that seamlessly mirror ancient Tamil society. The Brahmi Patha matches the Tamil Parathar, signifying merchants. We also see clear mentions of powerful clans like the Chola and Chera. We even find the term Maramakan, highlighting a matrilineal nephew structure identical to Tamil social systems. According to the text, this social fabric documented on these stones is undeniably Dravidian.
For researchers, this archaeological continuity is absolutely crucial. The unique symbols found in these inscriptions exactly match the markings discovered on megalithic pottery shards in the region. This strongly suggests that the megalithic communities were the very same people who later adopted Buddhism. For our authors, this proves a shared ancestry between megalithic Elam populations, early Sinhala speakers, and ancient Tamils. They didn't vanish, they just culturally evolved.
Part 3. The Evolution of Names, from Elam to Sinhala. The source traces a profound chronological evolution of the island's name. Step 1 is Elam, an ancient Dravidian root firmly established in Sangam literature. Step 2 is Elu, the ancestral Tamil branch language we just discussed. By step 3, Pali texts like the Mahavamsa modify this into Sihala. And finally, we reach step 4, Sinhala, which is the later, standardized, and Sanskritized form. The authors present this as a clear linguistic progression branching from a single Dravidian root.
To back this up, the text looks to leading scholars. As noted by the prominent linguist Professor Burrow, Elam is a Dravidian word. When scholars examine Tamil inscriptions and early literature, that foundational root form Ela becomes undeniably clear. The authors use this to provide absolute scholarly backing to the Dravidian origins of the island's most ancient recognizable name.
Part 4. Place names and commercial power, geography and early Anuradha Hapra.
The geographic footprint here is incredibly telling. Ancient ports like Tampapani, Pamparipu, and Mantai, alongside rivers like the Oya, Kankai,
and Kalani universally carry Tamil Dravidian linguistic signatures. Furthermore, researchers point out an Austric language substratum, referring to the ancient Austroasiatic language family, in river names like Oya, which was bequeathed by Veda ancestors. The text argues these embedded geographic names prove a deeply rooted indigenous presence.
1/3. That fraction is extraordinary. Pali texts themselves, which are often cited for alternative histories, actually record that Tamil rulers maintained control over the Anaicottai kingdom for a full third of its first 250 years. The authors emphasize that this was not just some fringe presence. This was central, governing authority during the foundational eras of the region.
The evidence of their overarching economic and political power is immense. Prominent Tamil monarchs like Devanampiyadesan and Elalan were major political forces driving ancient commerce. We repeatedly see mentions of powerful Tamil clans, the Pandya, Chola, and Chera, among others. And the physical evidence, ranging from coins and beads to intricate ship carvings, confirms the researchers' view of a massive, thriving Tamil-Elam maritime trade network.
And finally, Part 5. A multidisciplinary synthesis, the convergence of scientific evidence.
The source text argues that modern historical analysis demands rigorous methodology. Professor S.K. Sitrampalam champions this comprehensive multidisciplinary approach, warning that relying on single-source narratives, like Pali texts alone, requires critical scrutiny. True objective history, the authors argue, requires integrating linguistics, epigraphy, archaeology, and crucially, modern anthropology and genetics to properly cross-reference the data.
And here is where the biological data comes into play. Genetic researchers have concluded that modern Sinhala populations are actually genetically closer to South Indian populations than they are to North Indian populations. For the authors of our text, this biological reality aligns perfectly with the linguistic and epigraphic evidence we've just reviewed. The DNA, they argue, absolutely confirms the syntax.
This is a prime example of how academic rigor works in practice. Leading scholars follow the evidence. Professor K. Indrapala, for instance, actively shifted his earlier hypotheses once new archaeological excavations definitively proved the immense antiquity of Tamil settlements in ancient Elam. When undeniable data emerges, authentic scholarship naturally evolves.
Our source text cements this methodology with a critical thought. A study of a settlement cannot be based solely on literature or inscriptions. Rather, a multidisciplinary perspective is the most appropriate. The authors firmly believe the truth of ancient Elam and Sinhala origins isn't found in just one book. It's found exactly where all these multiple sciences intersect.
To summarize the case presented by our sources, they argue that ancient Elam's language, its overarching culture, and its fundamental social structures arise directly from a Dravidian matrix. They point out that traditional Aryan migration narratives simply lack multidisciplinary support. Ultimately, they conclude that a shared ancestry between Tamil and Sinhala populations is an undeniable, evidence-based reality, supported by converging data across archaeology, epigraphy, and genetics.
We leave you with this final vital thought. If linguistics, genetics, epigraphy, and geography all point to a shared Tamil-Sinhala ancestry, just as these researchers suggest, how will this multidisciplinary truth completely reshape our understanding of South Asian history? Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.